Good morning everybody, welcome to a rather damp dawn on the River Aven this morning. As you can see, I'm next to the Aven. This is the Aven near home. I've come back this morning, I've got literally a couple of hours to do a bit of fishing before I've got a very busy day. I grabbed the chance, I don't normally come out of the weekend, I grabbed the chance purely because we forecast a lovely overcast morning and this river is still in reasonable condition to do a little bit of trotting, which is what I've got in mind today. It's probably about 3 foot of visibility in here, which is not great at all for this river. About 1.5 feet is perfect. This river, the fish do, as soon as it clears, the bigger fish, they tend to skedaddle under all the cover and they don't really come out until it starts to get dark. But that's why we've come this morning. I can't come out later. So I've come this morning in the half light, which I'm sure you can see, just to have a little go. As I say, I've got a couple of hours, little window before the family gets up and moving. And that's the reason I came near home as well, because I know this stretch, from having fished it a few times recently, that I know a couple of good swims. I can get to it very quickly. So it's probably enough waffle, isn't it? We need to get on with it. Right, I'm going to grab my gear, I'll run you through it and then we'll get cracking. So Chub are the targets today. So I've got mashed bread as bait and bread flake for the hook. It's as simple as that. I'm going to keep it nice and simple. Going to get this in for a few minutes as I'm just setting the rod up, and then we'll have a crack. Hopefully we can have a few fish out. I think I might fish this swim perhaps for an hour. If it's going well, we'll stay here. If it's not, we'll have a move upstream to another swim. But yes, got my nice sloppy mashed bread. Do like it fairly sloppy, a bit sort of like porridge really, so that it breaks up in the water column. I don't really want it particularly getting to the bottom because we're going to be trotting through. That's the idea today. How we want the larger particles in this mashed bread, we want them to resemble the flake as it goes through. But yeah, it's like porridge really, this stuff. Right, we'll keep that going in just for a few minutes. So you can get the chub up for a feed, and then we'll get cracking. Gear, you'll know if you've seen the channel before. Got my Dow Tournament Pro 15-foot rod, Dow 125M, and a Drake alloy stem stick float. I'll stick all the information on the gear I'm using down below, so you can go and have a look at your leisure at what I'm using in detail. Yeah, as I say, we'll keep this trickling in. Just it's set up, but I'll get this rod just put together, and then we'll have a crack. I've been baiting for a few minutes now, so I think we'll get cracking. And like in the evening when fishing generally gets better and better, I think in the morning it's only going to get worse and worse as the light levels go up. Just hoping I can hold that off for a couple of hours, enable us to get a few fish in the net. Fingers crossed. There's a few woodpeckers about. Cracking. We'll give it an hour in here anyway. See if anything happens. Just enjoy being out listening to those woodpeckers, to be honest. In here, this swim is a bit funny. It can take 20 minutes to get it going. Not sure whether perhaps the chub are under the cover or what it is. But it can sometimes just take a few minutes to get it going. I'm talking like I fish it a lot. I mean, I fished it 3 times. Just tripping bottom there. That's perfect. We'll just shell up a tiny bit. Just a touch. Just want to be somewhere near the bottom. Get this mash going in as well. You want the fish sat down there expecting a bit of bread every few seconds, perhaps every 30 seconds, just keep them interested and get their interest in the first place. Well, I got all wrapped up today. I'm a bit too warm, to be honest. Better to be a bit warmer than a bit colder. Looks like it's rained in the night as well. Everything's very wet. I didn't forecast it, but not necessarily going to be a bad thing. The forecast from now on, though, is clear, sunny skies, high pressure, cold nights. This is why I grabbed the chance today. That could have easily been a bite down there. I'll give it about 10 minutes or so here, just running past this cover on the other side there. If we don't have anything further up the run, we'll move a few yards down. It's just an easier trot a few yards down. We'll give it perhaps 5 or 10 minutes here before we have a little move down though. See, that's gone under, but I think that's probably the bottom. Just get a little bit deeper just across there. So if I go and stand sort of opposite that, about 10 metres downstream, not quite, perhaps 5-6 metres downstream, we've got a much easier trot through. We're in. Look at that, wonderful. Fantastic. Makes it worth getting up, doesn't it? Do like my lie-ins in the weekend, I have to say. But worth getting up this morning. Fantastic. That was a bit further down. I think it's probably worth us moving down. Also get this one in. Wonderful. A lot of reeds in the edge here. He may well head for the edge, which I think he's doing. So we might have to go down there and get him anyway. Yeah, he's trying to get in the edge. I think he might have made it. Yeah, let's head down there. Another reason for moving down. God, it's treacherous. Take one step, on solid ground. Next one, you sink up to your shins. There he is. Yeah, done me around a branch. Come on. Cause like an old... I got him out. Not even very big. It's off for the snags again. Come on. Got him. Fab. Right. Yes, I think we'll move down here. Certainly be wise. Can find somewhere solid to stand. Whee. How's about that? Cracking start. Wonderful stuff. Very happy with that. See if we can catch his big brother without getting a welly full. It's very soft still here. That's cracking. I was saying, it normally, or can take a few minutes to get this swim going in my limited experience in here. But not this morning. Then again, I don't usually come down here in the morning, so. What do I know? No, I'm not putting back. I've got him in the net down here, just resting up. Because I know with Chub, if you put him back, it just kills the swim. So we can't. I've got this big deep landing net for exactly this reason. Not going to be in there for long. No need for a keep net. Not dragging a keep net around with me. That's gone under. Yeah, there we go. Just slowly sank under. It's a little bit like I've got the bottom. I just left it for a second. If it is the bottom, sometimes it pops back up. Wow. Well, this is certainly as good as I could have expected. He's making for that cover on the other side. Turned it. Trying as best I can on a 2.5 pound bottom. Get him out the feeding zone as quickly as possible. Wonderful. Now he's trying to get on the edge, of course. One of the advantages of having a longer rod. Easier to keep him out from by your feet. Right. Come on, number 2. Come in, number 2, your time is up. Oh, it looks a bit of a bigger fish, slightly. Fab. This is cracking. Absolutely cracking. Wow. There we are. Slightly bigger fish. Got to be a 3-pounder. Got a big belly on him. He's certainly been enjoying the mashed bread. What a cracking morning. I think probably only been fishing, I don't know, 20 minutes. 20 minutes at the most. Bit of knowledge. Picking the right conditions. I thought it may be half decent this morning, just because of the weather really, and we've got all this high pressure coming. Yeah, I just want to make the most of these conditions, which seemingly are spot on. Just make the most of doing a bit of trotting. You know, the end of the season's just around the corner, and you know, it's quite possible we could have a week of high pressure and sun, and it could be terrible. Absolute waste of time to do any trotting. And then, you know, it could bang down with rain. Rivers could all be in flood till the end of the season. That'd be that. No more trotting. So, could feasibly, even though we're at the beginning of Feb, could feasibly be the last trotting session of the year. Been asked a few times recently about my mashed bread, about consistency. I say I'm going to do a little video on how I make it up, but it's very loose, as you can see. It's like sort of like stiff porridge, I guess you'd say. I basically I wet it down so that it's as wet as I can get it for the distance I've got to throw it, because I want it to cloud up in the water like that. I'm not sure if you can see that. It clouds up, there's a few bigger particles in it. That's perfect, because what I'm trying to do is get the fish used to those bigger particles coming down, or slightly bigger particles, because my flake is replicating that. But also it clouds the water up, gets a bit of smell in the water. You know, it's a nice bready smell in the water, and Chub just can't resist bread. Can't this morning anyway. It's gone under. I think that's the bottom now. The trick is just to keep it trickling in. I'm feeding about every minute, but I'm only feeding a tiny little bit. I don't want to trot too far down, as I've got an idea where I'm going to get a bite now. It's just sort of beyond that snaggy tree over there, but in the middle of the river. I don't really want to trot past there, because if we do hook anything further down, and there are still fish in here, we're gonna have to drag that fish past all the feeding fish, and that's obviously going to spook them. So I'm sort of tempering my length of my run at the moment to just past where I expect to get a bite. If we don't get any bites for perhaps 10 or 15 minutes, then I'll let it run a bit further. That's gone under. There we go. Just let that go just beyond where I thought I was going to get a bite. I was just thinking of bringing it back. This feels a better fish. I can't actually move this one at the moment. We're winning a little bit. Really like to get him out of that area as quickly as possible. But he wasn't having any of that. Oh, he's trying to get over there. Come on. If he gets in that snaggy tree, we've had it. A 2.5 pound bottom on. Turned him. Thing is, you got to fish fine because really good eyesight, Chub, especially in clear water. As I say, I can see probably more like 4 foot into here. I haven't got the drone with me today, but I bet if I had, I'd be able to see the bottom. Certainly would if it was sunny. Here we go. Now I try for this edge. Come on. It doesn't feel huge, but certainly put up a decent scrap. Oh, it's a nice fish. Come on, out. Oh. Another nice one. We sneak him in as well. Got him. Did we lose one? No, we didn't. I thought we'd lost one for a minute then. I thought I saw one get out. Another lovely fish. I'm only holding these up because they're over the water and over the net. But a firm grip on them as well. Just nipped in the top lip there. Fantastic. Really just about nipped as well. We weren't far off losing that one. That was nearly one of those fish that you bump off. And you can't understand what's happened. Just tagged him. Right, I'm not going to go straight back in again. We'll have a little bit of a feed for a few minutes. Just make me wonder as well, this swim's kicking up a reasonable amount of chub like this. Wonder what it'd be like if we come and fish here just into dark on the mash bread feeder. Definitely going to have to have a go at that. Wonder if it might kick up some bigger fish. Shall have to get gone about 10 o'clock, I think. But we'll let the fish tell us when it's time to go. If I go more than perhaps 15 or 20 minutes in here without a bite, we'll have a move. There's another spot worth trying further downstream. As this has gone a little bit quiet, I'm starting to let it run a bit further downstream. One thing I absolutely love as well about fishing with bread in clear water conditions, which I'd call these, I say I can see 4 foot into the water there. When you're fishing for chub as well, the hook's covered. They can't see the hook. I think that's a big advantage when you're chub fishing. You know, I'm not saying you won't catch them on sort of maggots when the hook's showing, but I think it really helps if you can cover the hook up. Well, I've got a reasonable size hook on here as well. I mean, I've got a size 10 Drennan specialist wide gape on. It's completely buried in the flake. And I've got that Olivet about 6 inches from the hook as well, just to drag that flake down, get it down near the bottom very quickly. I want to be fishing straight away. Flake is so buoyant. I want to get it down in the action zone. But yeah, it's died off now. What I like to do as well, tend to do, is I'll stop a bit short when I'm retrieving, chuck some bait in, and by the time I've baited up and cast out again, that'll be sort of 10 metres downstream, so effectively I'm following it through. Nearly out of bread. Nearly used up a slice. But yeah, that's sort of down there now. So I'm effectively following that bit of bread through. A few metres behind. Can offer winkle a bite out. See, that's gone under, but I think that's the bottom there. That's it, and that's just about where it deepens off there. And now that's a long way down. We're done here. We're done. Right, we'll get these fellas back and then we'll have a move. It's another spot we might be able to have a few bites just on the way back up the stretch. I'm not going exploring or roving today. Not got the time. We'll try one more spot. See if we can winkle a few out. A quick look at them as we let them go. Some lovely fish there. Lovely winter condition. Fab. And the smallest of the bunch, which I think is the first one. There we go. Wonderful. Right, let's go see if we can winkle a few more out. Second and final swim of the day. Some chub off and sit across there. You can probably see that palletised swim over there. Often some chub sat over there. Or has been recently. As the weather gets cold, they sort of move about. Been having some success a bit further up from here. But when it got cold, just switched off completely. Nothing. Same with the swimmer further down. They move about, depending on the weather. Right, I've been feeding for perhaps 5 minutes. I think now's the time. They'll have their confidence up. If there is anything there. I don't expect to get anything big. They tend to be a little bit smaller further up the stretch here. But we might have a few out. Flows right on the other side of the river here. Got lots of old dying reed beds on the inside, so we're going to have to be a bit careful when we're playing fish. When, he says, optimistically. All right. Bottom, I think. So I took 1.5 foot off that. Still dragging under. Might have been a bite though. You never know. I think it's probably the bottom. Lots of streamer weed and even cabbages in here in the summer. Lots of lilies up in the edge and reeds, streamer weed. Very picturesque down here. And we'll come and have some chub off the top in the summer. Floating bread. That's a bite, certainly. Yes. Banged under. Doesn't feel very big. Oh, I don't know. Oh, we bumped it off. Oh, that hasn't done for the swim. Oh, now we're in the reeds in the edge. Perhaps we just stayed where we were. Right, let's forget that happened. Start again. Hopefully the chub will forget it's happened as well. Oh, I don't know how I managed to bump that one off. I felt him on properly as well, so it's not like he won't have noticed. Oh dear. Come on, chubbies. That's gone under. There we go. That's a fish. Stay on. Oh, blimey. He's off. He might stay on. God, he's charging off downstream. I didn't feel that big. I have to be careful, all these reeds are. Stalemate. I've gone quiet. I'm trying to knit one pearl through all these dying reed beds in here. Actually putting up a decent scale. It doesn't feel heavy. We've put up a really good scrap. Certainly not a chublet though. Just holding in the current. I don't bring him in too quickly though. Get me in these reeds. Just trudging off upstream. Now let's go for these reeds. We've got to get his head up. Ah, there we go. Oh, it's a nice fish. Certainly nice for in here. I say they don't tend to run quite so big in here. Generally. Got some flow there. Oh, he's a cracker. He's a cracker from this stretch. Cool, that's a lovely fish. Did him a bit of a disservice, I think. Cool, yeah, that's a lovely fish from up here. Oh, that's a good 3. Getting up towards the 4 pound mark, certainly 3.5. That's wonderful. Well, thankfully we didn't wreck the swim, bumping that one off. And yeah, that's certainly the biggest fish I've had out of this particular stretch here, or this swim. Normally a lot smaller in here, around the 1.5, 2 pound mark, somewhere around there. Right, I think what I'm going to do, we'll give it perhaps 20 minutes in here. If we don't do anything, we'll go and stand on that promontory down there that you can see. It's not long come out of the water as the water's dropping. We'll just do the second half of this run. If we don't have any more, we'll get anything going in this top half of this run. We'll perhaps just drop down there because we have been baiting it effectively from here. If there's no fish up here intercepting this feed, it'll be wafting down there. So we'll have 20 minutes here, I think 20 minutes there, and then Time to go home. Right, we'll get this fella back and we'll go and do that last bit down there. I think so. We've got a few minutes. There's not much point in thrashing this. Clearly not going to get another bite in here. I'd have had one by now. It's been perhaps 10-15 minutes since we had this chub. As I say, that's a nice chub. Certainly the biggest one I've had from this swim. He's a lovely fish. Fantastic. Right, off we go, chap. Gone. Absolutely nothing. Does look a nice little run. Yeah, but I say it may be the time of day that's done for us. Yeah, we'll call it a day. An absolutely cracking session. I certainly can't complain at all. It's been as good as I could expect it to be, really. I was thinking if we could winkle a few fish out as it starts to get light, that'd be fab, and we end up with 4 and also bump that one off. So yeah, certainly more than happy with that. Now, as I mentioned, the weather's on the change. I've got some, I presume, high pressure coming. We've got some very, very sunny days, sort of 5, 6, 7 degrees. We've got some 0 degree nights coming as well. It's going to drop the water temperature. Obviously it's not going to bother the chub, but there's no range here. This river is going to continue to clear, and with the sun out, it's going to be, well, pretty much useless fishing in the day. So I think I may have to revert over to perhaps fishing at dusk, perhaps do a bit of predator fishing, go up my private stretch that my neighbour lets me fish, his private stretch, and perhaps we'll do a bit of waggler fishing up there in the sun. There's a bit of colour in this river still, and up there it's 12-13 foot deep, so, you know, we might well be able to get some fish out of there during the day as well. But for this morning, thank you very much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.